Of mortality seen in their sad reality, so not as things that gods despise. What was thy pity's recompense? A silent suffering and intense, the rock, the vulture, and the chain, all that the proud can feel of pain. The agony they do not show, the suffocating sense of woe, which speaks but in its loneliness, and then lest the sky should have a listener, nor will sigh until its voice is echoless. Titan, to thee the strife was given between the suffering and the will, which torture where they cannot kill, and the inexorable heaven and the death tyranny of fate, the ruling principle of hate, which for its pleasure doth create the things it may annihilate. Refuse thee even the boon to die, the wretched gift eternity was thine, and thou hast borne it well. All that the thunderer wrung from thee was but the menace which flung back on him the torments of thy rack. The fate thou didst so well foresee, but would not to appease him tell. And in thy silence was his sentence, and in his soul of a repentance, an evil dread so well dissembled, that in his hand the lightnings trembled. Thy godlike crime was to be kind, to render with thy precepts less the sum of human wretchedness, and strengthen man with his own mind. But baffled as thou wert from high, still in thy patient energy, in the endurance and repulse of thine impenetrable spirit, which earth and heaven could not convulse. A mighty lesson we inherit, thou art a symbol and a sign to mortals of their fate and force. Like thee man is in part divine, a troubled stream from a pure source, and man in portions can foresee his own funereal destiny. His wretchedness and his resistance, and his sad unallied existence, to which his spirit may oppose itself, and equal to all woes, and a firm will and a deep sense, which even in torture can descry its own concentered recompense, triumphant where it dares defy, and making death a victory. A victory. Titan.
Tis time this heart should be unmoved, since others it hath ceased to move. Yet though I cannot be beloved, still let me love. My days are in the yellow leaf, the flowers and fruits of love are gone. The worm, the canker, and the grief are mine alone. The fire that on my bosom prays is lone as some volcanic owl. No torch is kindled at its blaze. The sword, the banner, and the field, glory and Greece around the sea. The Spartan born upon this shield was not more free. Awake, not Greece, she is awake. Awake, my spirit. Think through whom thy lifeblood tracks its parent lake, and then strike home. Tread those reviving passions down, unworthy manhood unto thee. Indifferent should the smile or frown of beauty be. If thou regrets thy youth, why live? The land of honorable death is here. Up to the field and give away thy breath. Seek out less often sought than found, a soldier's grave for thee the best. Then look around and choose thy ground, and take thy rest. So we'll go no more roving so late into the night, though the heart be still as loving and the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe and love itself have rest. Yea, though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more roving by the light of the moon. So we'll go no more roving so late into the night, though the heart be still as loving and the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul wears out the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe and love itself have rest. Aye, though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more roving by the light of the moon. looks in beauty, like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright. Meet in her aspect, and her eyes thus mellow to that tender light, which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek, and on that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Maid of Athens, ere we part, give, oh give me back my heart, or since that has left my breast, keep it now and take the rest. Hear my vow before I go, Zoe sasagapo. By those tresses unconfined, would by each Aegean wind, by those lids whose jetty fringe kiss thy soft cheeks, bloom and tinge, by those wild eyes like the rose, Zoe sasagapo. By that lip I long to taste, by that zone encircle the waist, by all the token flowers that tell what words can never speak so well, by love's alternate joy and woe, Zoe sasagapo. Maid of Athens, I am gone, think of me sweet when alone, though I fly to Istanbul, Athens holds my heart and soul. Can I cease to love thee? No. Zoe sasagapo. magic like thee, and like music on the waters is thy sweet voice to me. When, as if its sound were causing the charmed oceans pausing, the waves lie still and gleaming, and the lulled winds seem dreaming. And the midnight moon is weaving her bright chain o'er the deep, whose breast is gently heaving as an infant's asleep. So the spirit bows before thee to listen and adore thee with a full but soft emotion, like the swell of summer's ocean. When we two parted in silence and tears, half broken hearted to sever for years, pale grew thy cheek and cold, colder thy kiss. Truly that hour foretold sorrow to this. The dew of the morning sunk chill on my brow. It felt like the warning of what I feel now. Thy vows are all broken, and light is thy fame. I hear thy name spoken and share in its shame. Before me, and knelt to mine ear, a shudder comes o'er me. Why wert thou so dear? They know not I knew thee, who knew thee too well. Long, long shall I rue thee, too deeply to tell. In secret we met, in silence I grieve that thy heart could forget, thy spirit deceive. If I should meet thee after long years, how should I greet thee? With silence and tears. came down like the wolf on the fold, and his cohorts were gleaming in purple and gold, and the sheen of their spears was like stars on the sea, when the blue wave rose nightly on deep Galilee. Like the leaves of the forest when summer is green, that host with their banners at sunset were seen. Like the leaves of the forest when autumn hath blown, that host on the morrow lay with head and strown. For the angel of death spread his wings on the blast, and breathed in the face of the foe as he passed, and the eyes of the sleepers waxed deadly and chill, and their hearts but once heaved and forever grew still. And there lay the steed with his nostril all wide, but through it there rolled not the breath of his pride, and the foam of his gasping lay white on the turf, and cold as the spray of the rock-beating surf. And there lay the rider, distorted and pale, with the dew on his brow and the rust on his mail, and the tents were all silent, the banners alone, the lances unlifted, the trumpet unblown, and the white owls of Asher are loud in their wail, and the idols are broken, the temple of Baal, and the might of the Gentile, unsmote by the sword, hath melted like snow in the glance of the Lord.